Welcome to Attican Plays Railway Empire. All right, hi, this is Attican, and welcome to our third installment of our Railway Empire Back to Basics series. So we're going to go into the campaign again, and we're going to do part two. And we're going to do this to see, what new concepts we can introduce. And I know there's going to be, this is still kind of tutorial-like. So the first one opened up a lot of the basics, which we also covered in the first video in this series. But now let's see what else we can get into. We're going to start with $2 million in Baltimore. I do not remember this very well, what happens in the mission. So that's good. It's always nice to play them when they seem like almost seem new to you. $2 million is a lot of money. We'll be in Baltimore. Well, now here we go. Here's new. We're going to have competitors. Unfortunately, they're normal level, so they're not going to be very strong. We always play on hardest levels for AI, and let's just see how this goes. See what we have to do. We don't have a choice. We have to play with Roger, the Industrials. That's fine with me. I really like him as a character.
The best choice.
And I don't want to get too much into the characters, but we will say for him, he can build factories cheaper, which is great. You can put a new factory in a location for 50% of the normal price. And he can just go in and buy a factory from another town without an auction. Just go and say, "Flip, I'll buy that." And he wants to avoid auctions in general because he pays more for the price of an auction. So he's pretty obviously, industry is where he that's his sweet spot. And we'll skip the cutscene, even though I like it.
I've been waiting for you. I'm Philip Evan Thomas. It's always been my dream to build a railroad to the Ohio River and beyond. That would help everyone, both the settlers and the natives. And I need your help with that. First of all, I have two tasks for you in order to build a base from where we can monitor further activities. But as I learned back when I was a bank clerk, the books must always balance. So take care to make a profit, even with these preliminary assignments.
Okay, now, if you notice, the very first thing I did was blow up that large train station because I don't want or need a large train station yet. And we are going to use the rapid expansion strategy here. So I'm looking for beer meat, and it's way over here in Syracuse, but that's okay. That is okay. Let's see. Go in there like that. Now let's see if we can clean this up. Oops. Actually, except for the length of that bridge, which is a bit excessive, it's looking pretty good. Oh, shucks. Didn't like that. Okay, that's pretty good. So what I'm looking for, beer meat. So I'm thinking beer, or meat, beer, meat, maybe beer, no, and down here's beer we could do, and they want us to hook Washington in. Now I'm actually going to ignore them for a second and work on my engine first. So here we go. This is an expensive line. And we're going to double track it all the way back. And we have a junction at each end, and we did not create any merges, so we don't have any problems with short blocks. And that's a long line. We're going to put, I think I want a tower here because I see stuff coming across that bridge and over. We're going to get a lot of use out of that bridge, I think. We'll put a tower here, and we're even going to put one up at this end somewhere. Okay. So that is a very long line. We're going to run 6 trains on that. We'll run automatic lines. And I think I forgot to give it another city. That would be useful. 1, 2, 3, and then we'll set up lines coming back the other way. One. And sorry, I really truly lost count there. I don't know what I've just done. I'm going to speed this up and let it run for a second and see how many trains I put on there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is there another one? Nope, that's it. We got 6. Okay, so that's one beer meat line. Then the shortest one we can get is actually Syracuse to Buffalo. So we're going to put a second station in Syracuse. Now, what does that do for us? We have competitors, remember. So we're putting a second station here, and now this guy can't come any farther this way. We're cutting him off. And if we cut him off and keep him small, he will never be a problem for us. So we got a station in Syracuse, and we want to put a station in Buffalo. And click, and so we double track it. We've got junctions at both ends. We didn't build any merges, so no short blocks. And put in a tower, kind of think right in the middle. 4 trains should do. Let's just run them out of here like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, pause. Okay. Now we've got meat here, and we could run this down here to Norfolk, and that would be that just might work. So let's put a station in Norfolk. And we'll put a second station in Baltimore to make sure our competitor over there in New York doesn't come this way and think he's going to horn in on the action in Baltimore. Now it's turned. Shoot. I usually orient them back to back, but I'm going to turn this one this way and make sure it's over far enough that I'll be able to expand this station. So it should be good like that. And then run this in here like this. Okay. And I'm going to put the supply tower up here because we're going to hook Washington into this system as well. Put one there. One down here. Probably put one in the middle too, like there. Okay. And this looks like another 6 trains. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and let's see what we've got. I'd like to have another one, honestly. Looking for beer, not finding beer. Beer, meat. Meat, beer, meat, beer. Do I go all the way to Augusta to get meat? Four cities is enough for, I mean, you can play with 4 in a cluster. Let's just stick with 4. 4's enough. We're going to throw Washington in the mix, and I'm sure they're going to make us throw some other stuff in here as well. So let's, next phase of rapid expansion is, after you build your 4 to 5 beer meat lines, is to connect meat and wheat to the appropriate city so they're all supplied. So we're going to go like this. We're going to build another bridge. I'm not going to try to cram it into that one. And come over here to this cattle, right here. Put in a small train station there. That's expensive. Okay. Now, if you're wondering why is it turning red in here, it's because it won't let me build in the city limits, build track, unless it's coming out like this. But see, once I connect it, then it realizes I'm doing track that's going into a station that exists, and it will allow me to do that. Actually, in fact, I'm going to go ahead and set that up like that. And we'll wait till we have a little bit of money. And did we go into debt yet? No, we didn't. My goodness, what's the matter with us? All right, we're going to debt is your friend. We're going to go into serious debt. We're going to finish off that line. Put in our X for the cross, for the signals, and set up, goof up, and okay, now I goofed up and I forgot to flip them, so now I've got all my stuff running the same direction. Now what I can do, if I really want to, I guess I will, I'll take that one out and I can just go through here and flip each one of these by just left clicking on it, and that will flip it around the other way. And then we can put one down here at the end, directional like that. There we go. So that'll work. And this one we're going to run full into Baltimore. It takes 44 days to make a trip. Baltimore needs Baltimore needs 4. We'll give this thing at least 2. Okay. And then we'll go up here and look at wheat. We can get wheat from right here. and run it into Syracuse. So what we can do here is expand this station. Remember how we do our expands. We delete part of it, fix it up. Whoops. And now I'm doing that because I want to run this wheat. Actually, in fact, I think I want to just go this way. Okay, now we set our signals, but we made an intersection here, a junction, an intersection here. So this has definitely got to go. It's in the wrong plot. That one's actually good. This one, we could have one up there, would be nice. And that's good. This is all, everything else looks good. So now we can run wheat into Syracuse. And there we want to go into the one that isn't being used, track 2. And that takes 73 days. And they need 1.4 a week. We'll give it 2, 3. We'll give it 3 trains. Okay. Now we need meat into Buffalo. And we want another station in Buffalo to keep the competition out. I don't know what task we completed, but we completed some. Oh, it's probably 3 rural stations to your network. I think that's what it was. We'll put the supply tower down here so we can also pick up logs if we decide to put those into Buffalo. Run full, go to Buffalo. How long does it take you? It takes you 36 days. And they would like to have something on the order of 4. So in that time, they would like to have 4 times 60. Yeah, we're going to need at least a couple of trains. Okay, so a couple of trains. So now we've got a 4-city rapid expansion going with the. I haven't fed wheat down here. We still need wheat at this end. I think for this one, I'm going to go ahead and use an expanded track here. I'm not going to try to put in a second station just yet. So it's going to go run across like that. And a small train station here. That's better. My only concern there was if I made this going, if that is too tight, I can't put the inside, which needs to be built. The inside track needs to be built here. Like so. Want to make sure it would fit. That's why I softened that curve up a little bit. Set our signals. Put in a tower. And run a line here that's full into Toledo, or Toledo, Norfolk. And that one takes 52 days, so let's do a couple. All right, so now here's our research, and we get to bid on it because we got competition. They will bid against us, so we're going to watch this, and we want to win these. And I've turned off their sound, and you're not listening to Beatrix's annoying stuff. When you play this game, those of you who are new to the game, you'll get the joy of listening to Beatrix. It is one of the great pleasures of gaming right there. Okay, and we also see we've got a research available. Yeah, we can get more freight revenue. Sure, we'll take that. All right, now, you'll notice I don't have the pause, but I use the track construction to kind of put me in a pseudo pause mode. Now, we still need to connect Washington, and we need to do that before we mess around and make it too late. So I'd like to have Washington kind of set up so that it gets a line to Norfolk and a line to Baltimore, which in effect is going to give it beer and meat, right? And give these guys another customer for their products. So that would be good. So let's put a station, a regular train station in here, like so. And you may be wondering, well, why isn't he using the new fancy, auto signal stuff? Well, because, well, one, I don't want to. But the big reason I don't want to, here, I'm going to expand this twice, go right back to that large station. I'm going to make a classic connection here. And the reason being that I need to open this up for future expansion. So we're going to, so this is a good example. Here's an example of a 2-platform X that you use. And then here's how you connect a 4-platform. You come in from the outside, connect those up like that. And then right in front of them, you put another X, or really a first X in this case. And then we set our signals. And like that. That's a really short line. And then we wait till we have enough money to buy a supply tower. And we do. So we put in a tower. And we go here to here, and we'll just run a couple of trains on it. 1, 2. All right. And I didn't pay attention to my lines there, and I should have. This train needs to go into Baltimore.
The bigger a city gets, the greater its demands get too.
No.
At some point, the goods from the immediate area will no longer be enough. That's where the railroad comes in handy. Now select Baltimore to take a closer look at the city.
Slow down. I'll select Baltimore in a moment when I'm ready. You. I want you to go into Baltimore into track 4. Accept. And I want you to go into Baltimore in track 4. Okay. Now, I want us to look at Baltimore and see what it's got, blah, blah, blah. Now,
a large clothing industry. The city
here's the biggest thing it has. It has the option to put in a building. We're going to put a museum in there and help Baltimore keep growing. Museums are by far my favorite specialty building.
Lay a rail line between Baltimore and New York so that the clothing produced in Baltimore can be delivered to New York.
Okay, he wants us to go Baltimore to, I don't see a task for it, but he wants us to do Baltimore to New York. There's New York. And it's a little tight to get to, isn't it? If we come out this side, we get a horrible bridging. We can come out this side and do a little better, but we're going to have to get around this somehow. Yeah, we can handle it. All right, so what are we going to do? What are we going to do? We've got tracks here. I think I'm going to, since this is large, I'm going to convert this puppy right here. We're going to go like that. We're going to run this line. We're going to open up, we're going to set up our switching so that all four of these platforms are available coming from over here. And that way we can use this line to run over here, go down to New York, and also pick up wheat and maybe milk. Milk down to Washington would be good. They have a dairy industry, so that would be great. So let's do that. Let's go off right there. Go around this Collins estate. And into New York like that. And then in New York, we'll put in a small train station. Go like it over there. Okay, we need to run for a while and make some money. But we can look at our trains and see our trains are doing well. They are making us good money. That's the weekly balance per week. It's how much they make per week. I think it's net after their expenses, so that's good. See, we've got Norfolk growing. It actually could take another business if we had the desire to do so. We could put a business in Norfolk. A cotton business in Norfolk feeding that clothing would not be the worst thing we could possibly do. But let's stick to the script. Let's do what they ask us to do, which is connect New York. And then come over here, anchor it, and then grab that cone. Now we need 150 plus plus another tower, I would say. So 180. We need a couple $100,000 in order to make this work. But look at our money racking back up very nicely. We have a nice little engine we're going now here already. We got a breakdown. We're going to get a few until we can afford to put in maintenance sheds. It's all part of the plan not to put them in too early. Let's see, what do we got? We've got our double track now. We can set our signals. We can put in that supply tower while I'm down here thinking about it. But what we want to do now is go look at this merge and see if we've got any short signals. And we do. This one right here is too close. But everything else looks good. I think. Yeah, that one's good too. All right, so we're fine. So now we can run a line from Baltimore, track 2, to New York. I'm going to specify it even though it only has one choice right now.
I'll let you get on with your responsibilities.
2,
Stay alert. I will check on your progress from
4,
time to time.
5, 6. We're just running them all out of Baltimore. All right. So now, connect Baltimore and Pittsburgh, cotton to Pittsburgh, and clothing to New York. Okay, no problem. The only thing I don't care for about that arrangement is this station is so busy, and this one can still be expanded. Now, what I would like to do, given where we are, is get this cotton going to here and put, well, they've already, somebody's put that something in there, but put the textiles in there, and then we've already got the textiles being delivered to Baltimore, and we've just now set up the line that would deliver the clothing to New York. So that would be beautiful. Look at our money just racking right back up. So good deal. All right, so let's slow down this and think about how do we want to connect Baltimore to Pittsburgh. And we've got Well, I tell you what would be an easy way, given the fact that we've used up so much of our track. I mean, we could come up with a way to link it up with this station over here. Or we could move something around and open up a line, or he said we could go out the back and go to Washington or to Pittsburgh, kind of down here and out. How busy are these? 77, 48. They're pretty busy. Let's go the warehouse route. What we can do, we're going to put in a warehouse with signaling control, and we're going to attach it to Baltimore if we can. Oh, these things have such big footprints. In this kind of a tough topography, they just don't fit very well. What if we did a warehouse? Now, we just need a little one for now. A warehouse like so. And in that warehouse, we will keep that stuff right there. In fact, we'll do max of that. Okay, and then we're going to go, yeah, we're going to set up our line. Go through these gaps in the mountains and down here to Pittsburgh. And in Pittsburgh, we'll put in, let's see, a small station. Like so. And like so. We'll wait till we have about 220,000 at least before we do anything else. We could get the John Bull is a much better train than what we have. Can we upgrade it? Okay, this is our engine shed. We could go here and say replace all.
If you transport the
it only costs us $1 million.
With your rail line, you will be making a considerable contribution to the growth of the industry. Everyone profits from that.
So we won't be doing that for a while. So we're going to put we're going to make sure we have intersections here. We've got small at Pittsburgh, so we know there's a junction there. We just built one here. Put in our signals. There's no merges, so we'll put in a supply tower here and maybe one back here somewhere.
Excellent.
Okay.
You could hire train crews in the staff dialogue window. Then you'll need to view the train details of the selected train to assign the staff to it. Now, open the train details of your most important train and assign an engineer and a stoker to it. You don't have first call on cities, farms, or mines. Of course, your transport income will fall if your competitors connect these to their rail networks. Tracks, locomotives, buildings, and cash all increase the value of your company. And the higher this is, the higher the price of your company stocks. Just as other companies buy stocks from you, you are able to buy some from them. If you do that, you will profit from the success of your competitors. You should buy stocks via the company dialog window now.
Okay. They want us to buy some stock, so we will. I would never do this normally. I don't want this right now. We'll buy 5% of Don Lorenzo.
This should
Stop.
stay just between us, as it's, well, not entirely legal. But we need to keep all of our options open. A saboteur has applied for a job with you. If you send him to one of your competitors, he will make trouble for them. This can also cause their stock price to fall. You don't have to deploy saboteurs to do better than your competitors. You could deal with them in a more classy and legal way. Take a look at which routes are more lucrative and will ensure you become the most important transporter there.
Well, I can. My take on.
By the way, your competitor, Don Lorenzo, is a bit of a gang boss. You can imagine that he has good connections to bandits and saboteurs. So it's much easier for him to deploy such characters.
We're going to have this Pittsburgh line run full. And a couple of John Bulls up there. And now let's see how we're doing. I think we're doing awfully well here. Another task
You
completed.
should have learned the most important aspects of
Okay,
your
Baltimore and
position.
Toledo.
I'll
Grow
let you get on
100,000
with those
Baltimore. We're almost there.
Stay alert.
Buy out a
I will
competitor.
check on your
Let's
progress from time to
get out of our
time.
way. Get out of the way. 10 rural businesses and buy a competitor. Okay. Okay. Company value of 20 million. That's big. So they really want us to grow here. That's cool. That's cool. We're up for that. Okay. So so what do we do to grow? Well, a bunch of things. I mean, one is we could just rapid expand again. I mean, seriously, you could do a second rapid expansion. Oh, look at this. This would have, look at that. Cotton here, direct line to Baltimore. That would have been better. Now, they made us do it this way, but this would have been even better. Or this, when we looked at it, would have been better to put our own business in there. All right, they want us to go to Toledo. And let's see, what are they asking us to do? Optional tasks, no problem. Okay, so Baltimore is growing, so that task is going to get taken care of. How do we want to do this? Let's see. What's that? All right. Let's do this so we won't have to look at those. We'll start putting in maintenance. So the first thing, and we can't replace, I would love to do a replace all, right? That would be great. It'd be great timing. What if we replaced all with our little grasshoppers? I know I put John Bulls on a couple of those, but I do replace all there.
Baltimore
I'm going to replace
is growing
everything.
and thriving. That is mainly thanks to the railroad that you built. Well done.
Thank you. Now, Why did I do that? Because I'm prepping for this. We're going to put in maintenance in all of our stations now. We have money. It's time. We're going to put them in,
One
but I
day
replaced
the
all the
railroad will
vehicles
reach all
first.
the way
Why?
to the west
So that
Every
we're not
day,
going to
huge crowds
experience.
of people set out to cross the entire country, and the trains will continue to get faster.
We're not going to
Look at me
experience.
like that. We can't stop progress.
We're not going to experience a massive slowdown in our economy because every train in our system is stopping for repairs. So we replaced them all. They're all new trains. Nobody needs repairs right away. Now we're going to go in and set up the repairs so when they do need it, we're ready and good to go. And you notice there was a new business opportunity there in Buffalo. So once I get back there, I want to look into that. Okay, so now we've got repair set on our cities, and we could put them out here on the rural stations too. But right now, what I want to do is look at that opportunity in Buffalo. Okay, they could take something. Now, what could they take? We could put a clothing industry there. I mean, shoot, we could. We could put a brewery in there, run the wheat over, easy peasy, and then have a beer meat line going to Toledo, a strange one, right? Oh, and look at this. We got Toledo and Grand Rapids. Oh, for goodness sake. We have to do that. Okay. We're going to run Pittsburgh to Toledo just to connect it. Then we're going to run the one we have to do, which is Toledo, Grand Rapids. We have to. And we're going to grow Toledo, Grand Rapids because that's our favorite spot in the whole game. So, one thing, I'm going to stop this for a second. One thing you'll find in this game, particularly those of you who are new, there's a lot of crap that comes at you. It just keeps popping and popping and popping. All these little messages and all this, boy, you got to hire somebody else and all this stuff. And what else we got here? Oh, we do want this. Price of locomotives, yes, we'll take you. So you have to stay on top of that. So you kind of want to watch up here for these little dots and stuff that tell you there's something to do. Our research, we could do more research, and there's two sides to this. More passengers, that's always good. More mail profit, that's always good. Pause. Not pause. Okay, Pittsburgh, let's run Pittsburgh to Toledo, and we can run a passenger line. Why not? We don't really have a beer meat thing going for them. So why don't we do this? Why don't we expand our station and run track out like this? Think about how we want to do it. Like this, here, and run into Toledo. Now, we've got space here, so why don't we use some of the new functionality? Let's use train signal with signaling control in Toledo. And Toledo can actually take a business. Stop. And we're going to give it repairs. Run our line like so.
A big dream has become reality. Baltimore now has a direct connection to the Great Lakes. This will speed up the trade of goods and help bring more prosperity to the city.
We'll accept that. And we have to do our signals. And I want to put a supply tower down here because I'm seeing some stuff coming into Toledo. And we'll put one up here. And we'll set up a line of passengers. It goes from here to here. And we will run the John Bull for that.
Did you know that I am speaking in Washington on behalf of some Indian tribes? they have granted me the title of Haiwa Nob, which means the benevolent one.
1, 2. I'm running the John Bull on this passenger line because I want the fastest train I can get. There we go. Now we should have a very profitable passenger mail line running there. What do we got to do? We're almost done with the clothing. Buy a competitor. Okay, we've got a connection bonus right here. We're going to grab that, run logs into Buffalo. That's kind of free money. That's too close, but I'm only going to run one train, so it's fine. One train will do just fine right there. Okay. Now, in fact, I want to give him that security guard. Security guard can get a bonus on the freight when he lands. All right, let's put in another train station with signaling control in Grand Rapids. And I think what I want to do is run a pass-through warehouse. Why not? A big warehouse with signaling control right here. And we're going to run a little two-city cluster between Toledo and Grand Rapids. It's like watching a tutorial. Okay, I want this to get wheat, corn, logs, sugar, milk, veggies, max, repairs, yes. Repairs, yes. I'm going to run a freight only line. Professor can give us money. I actually want his money. And now what we're going to do, now I'm showing you a new concept. This is a city growth concept called a two-city cluster, where these two cities have a beer meat line and a symbiotic relationship. They're going to help each other grow. There's a warehouse here between them in the middle, and that warehouse is going to be stocked up with 6 items that they can both use. So we're going to run the wheat from up here into that warehouse. We've already got the logs. They're automatically picked up in the warehouse because it's because of where it's located, right next to the logging camp. So we're going to take wheat and run it in. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to delete that. We're going to put a train station, I think, over here. 2 smalls would work just fine. And we're going to have 2 distinct tracks. I'm going to run this one a little differently. It's going to have a dedicated line coming in like this. Okay, we have to look. We made an intersection so that one is too short. That one is too short. We'll get rid of them. Set our signals going back, and we want a couple of trains to run full loads to that beer industry. Okay, then we want. Oh man, why didn't I put that? Shucks. Crap. Now, I'm going to put a supply tower here. Okay, oh, that'll work. That'll handle this, and no, it won't handle that. Okay, sorry. There, like that. There we go. All right. And what I want to do now is run a line from here. Now, I want to show you another concept. Okay. Notice how I'm building a totally separate line from this platform. Even, right? Okay. Let's accumulate some money before I move on. And we do want to win all these bids because that moves our research forward at a faster pace, even though they're very expensive for us because we're Roger. Okay. What happened there? And we did something. I don't know what. Maybe the clothing. I'm not sure. Not sure what we did. Notice the year too. Let's just take a moment to reflect.
It angers
here.
me that to this day nobody has erected a memorial to our founding father, George Washington. I hope that the disputes about it will be over someday, and I'll be the first to make a donation towards it.
Okay, so notice the date. It's September of 1831. Notice our task list. We've got till 1845. We're still doing the first year's tasks, and we're almost done. We're doing just fine, is what I'm trying to say, in my own far from humble way. Okay. So now, back to what I was saying. This is another thing for you to learn if you're not accustomed to it. And I'm going to use my little, I call them the Jan Jansen signals here. Okay, so there's 2 things for you to note here. Number 1 is these close signals are there because trains coming back to here are empty. I want them to come up here and queue up close to where the action is and get them out of the way. That's especially helpful if you had one that was close to a main line and you want to get the trains out of the way in case they're queuing and waiting. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2 is why in the world did I build this second set? Because I want the trains that are going to run to the warehouse with the wheat, I want them coming back and having a separate queue from the ones that are going to Grand Rapids with the wheat because they're on different schedules, and I don't want a train waiting for the warehouse load to stop a train that could be going in and running a load to Grand Rapids. So they need 2 distinct places to wait. So that's why this redundancy here in the line. And I built it a little longer than I needed to. But it's there it is. All right, so we've got this line going with a couple. Now what we want to do is set up a line from the other one, from one. Oh crap, will that work? Crapola. Oh yeah, you can go to either one. Oh, we got a promoter. Promoters, there's certain scenarios promoters are absolutely required, but a promoter helps a city grow. So we can point it at any of our cities, and I don't think we have any. We're going to put it on. Give it to Grand Rapids. She's going to go promote Grand Rapids, and Grand Rapids is going to grow, and it's already growing, so it'll really grow. That's great. So how is that set? Okay, that'll work. Beautiful. Okay, set up a rail line from here, from track 1, run full, go to this warehouse. Okay, now we need more stuff going in there, and we've got a we need to run our cattle. All right, our utilization on this line is very low. We need to run cattle into Toledo. And we can do Jan Jansen, although it really doesn't matter in this case. It's out there by its lonesome. And we'll run cattle into Toledo. We've got wheat going there. We've got a beer meat. We've got logs. Let's throw some corn in there. Now the corn, I'm just going to actually bypass Toledo. I could run it directly to Toledo, but I'm going to bypass it and run it into that warehouse. So what we're going to do here is run a line off of here. Oh, no, we're not. Run a line off of here, like this, that bypasses and then comes back in. And the sides need to match like that. Okay. Goes like that. And we set our signals and we look for bad ones because we made 2 intersections. So right here, we can come up to there. We're good distance-wise. We come up here and look. That one needs to go for sure. I'm not sure about that one. I'm going to rebuild it right there. That's good. Yeah, the rest of it's good. So now we want to run corn. Oh, maybe if I had the corn set up, we could run corn. Small train station. And I wanted to give it just enough room to make sure we can get the trains off that main line, that Pittsburgh to Toledo line.
Congratulations. You're doing some excellent work, and your company has greatly increased in value.
God,
Just
we're already
as
at
I
20
hoped
million.
it would.
No. What's he talking about? Oh, the 10 rural stations. That's what we couldn't possibly be. Now, this, by the way, this is a little bit of a design. Meh. This is a passenger line. You know what? This is a passenger line. It is more than just a meh. Yeah, that's a mistake. Okay. What we want, we're going to keep that passenger so that they can get express status and make more money, run faster and make more money. So what we're going to do instead, we're in parallel to it. That's no problem. And share that supply tower. That's no problem. But now we want to build our bypass so that it goes like this. Yeah, beautiful. Costs us a little bit more, but it'll keep us out of the way of that passenger line. We're going to be running freight through here. and we'll avoid losing, slowing down our passenger lines, which actually, this how fast they deliver actually matters in terms of what they get paid. Got any problems? No. Okay, good deal. So now we'll run full, go here.
My brother spent some time in England. His accounts of how the railroad is used in mining there fascinated me. However, in America, we have considerably greater distances to overcome. A mammoth task.
All right, we've got a lot going on there. It's actually jammed up for a while. So one thing we can do to help out is just put two more tracks there. It's so easy with these newfangled stations. So how are we looking? Buy a competitor. I think I'd like to buy a competitor right now. That would be nice. Are things moving up here okay? Grand Rapids is growing. Okay, now here we go. Now, here's another of my the two-city cluster concept. This industry right here, the tools, worthless. We want an industry that can help us and help these two cities grow. So what we're going to do is take advantage of Roger here. We're going to buy this. We can buy it without an auction, right? And we're going to knock it down. We don't want that. What we want in here is a weaving factory. We want to put a weaving factory in here. We'll put it over here. And then we want to go out here to this cotton, and we want to connect it into to feed our weaving. Like so. Okay, and got our signals, put in a supply tower, run some trains, run them full. Okay. Now, they'll start making the cloth. The cloth will be used by Toledo. It'll also be used, we can also then go up here as, now they've got a business opportunity, so hold up for a second. So now we've put the cloth here. The cloth can be used by a tailor. So we're going to put a tailor in, once we have 250,000, there we go. We're going to put a tailor in Grand Rapids. Okay, so that should be great because now once we start making the cloth is going to be shipped up here to that tailor. And in fact, I'd really like to have more trains in this. Actually, I'd like to have like eight trains running between these two. Okay, as they get bigger, we're going to carry more and more goods. Somebody just sabotaged us in Toledo. We really don't care. Okay, staff. I was saying about all the stuff that comes at you. One of the biggest ones is the staff. It's just it can be a pain. So one of the things you can do if you really don't want to deal with it is you can go to your personnel, and you can go to this button right here. It'll hire all that staff and assign them somewhere. And we've got an inventor. Well, actually, our money's really good now. So the other thing we could do is look at our money and say, well, look at this. We could even take out another loan if we wanted. All right, we're good. We can do whatever we want now. It's time to buy a competitor. Well, he would obviously be the easiest one. 3.5 million. What would happen if we paid off that bond? We can get 1 million. Okay, so we're going to do something I rarely do. We're going to just sit for a moment. I want to get this done before this hits. So see, we're in very good shape. We're way ahead of schedule. It's just March
I believe that
1832.
the railroad will democratize mobility. It is a means of transport that should be open to all people. Not only because it is profitable, no, but because it opens up people's eyes to the world.
Let's grow Toledo. Oh, look at this. Grand Rapids. We can put a museum in Grand Rapids and keep it growing. More staff. Now, what's going to happen here? We'll eventually get a conflict. And I like to watch the conductors and put them on lines that are, if I have any passenger lines, so like this line here, whoops, be a really good one for a conductor to work on, but not that conductor. Well, let's go to this one. Conductor, yes. Are you on a train? Okay. Okay, our two-city cluster, both cities are growing. Look at this. Look at this. Toledo, okay, it's getting logs, so let's give it a log-based industry. Let's give it a sawmill. Okay. And now what we'll have to do here is watch the size of these. Since we own them, we have to promote them. We have to grow them, make them, expand them. Whereas if we didn't own them, the computer owner, the AI owner would expand them for us, so to speak. We can put a university, but Geez, I always go with museums. I really should use more like attractions and get more, passenger mail, but I really don't. I'm a city grower. That's what I like to do, is grow cities. That's my style of play. So where are we? Let's look at closing that one. Now, how big a bond? We can get 1.2, 2.4.
When I tell people about
we
my
have 3. All
plans
right,
for
we're
the
going to
railroad,
open this
they only
bond.
see the problems. Laying the tracks, maintenance costs,
We'll
labor
open another
costs,
bond.
as if a fleet of
Slow down.
stagecoaches were cheaper. And don't tell me these mountains of raw materials are supposed to be transported by horses.
And we can buy him for $4 million.
If you own enough shares in your competitor, you
And what
can
we're going
merge
to
with
do
them
is
and
merge with him,
incorporate their
and
routes and
I
buildings
almost
with
always
yours.
liquidate
Your
everything.
competitor will then
You
be
see,
out
it
of
leaves us
business
with a
for
bunch
good.
of cash.
Well done. You
Gets
now
him
possess
completely
your
out of the
first
way.
block of shares in a competitor.
We also pick up his
Excellent.
employees, and
You
look
have
at this. He
defeated
has
a
station
competitor
master,
and taken over all their routes and buildings.
chief engineer, accountant, oh wow, he has the whole bit. Hire. They even like each other. Wow, what a deal. That was a great deal there, just to get those employees. And I'm going to auto assign all these guys. And I will go back to this line right here and look for a conductor. Well, they're all on, looks like they're all on decent routes. It's fine. All right. And a reporter, we don't care. Where are we? Well, we're done. Okay. All we have to do is grow to 20 million. We're making money at a clip of 2 million last quarter in profit. And I think what we can do here, we can probably even close out our bonds. Or well, better yet, why don't we buy Beatrix? Why not? What would it cost? 10 million. Okay, she would cost a fair penny, but let's just wait and see what happens. We'll think about buying her. She'll come by the time we get around to buy her. She'll cost 10 or 12 million. We don't care. Missing supplies. Look at that. I've messed up. My favorite mistake. Don't have supplies on that route. We'll put a conductor on this line on that train right there. Missing supplies. Did I do it again? Yes, I did. Okay, what we got Toledo up to? 117,000 people and growing. So I think we need to start bumping these buildings up. Toledo just went through 120,000. Ooh. We do even better with that one. That's the happiest staff I've ever seen. Okay. Yeah, we're about to win. I'm afraid we're going to win too fast to buy out Beatrix. We are going to, do everything, of course, but we're just going too fast to buy out Beatrix, I'm afraid. How big is Baltimore? Oh, Baltimore is almost 160,000. Okay, I saw a market crier. We definitely want the market crier because they give you additional either mail or passenger revenue. Safety would give you mail, and comfort would give you passengers. Either way, it's a good thing. Oh, how big's... Look at this, Syracuse. $105,000. Another museum in Buffalo. That'll take this over 60 and it'll keep growing. And the beauty of these growing is these lines here just do better and better, the lines between the cities. Grand Rapids, another business. Something that uses the lumber would be good, like furniture. Beautiful furniture. We'll put a furniture business in Grand Rapids, and we will expand it one time.
Baltimore is prospering.
Well,
The
shucks.
upswing can be felt
We
along
won
the
too
entire
fast.
East Coast, thanks to the dense rail network. And since you have connected the Great Lakes and cities such as Toledo, the United States have grown a little bit closer together again.
Okay, how'd we do? I'm going to skip the cutscene. Okay, we got a perfect score, 11 out of 11, 20 out of 20, and a president rating, of course. And we did all right, did it in under 3 years. Now, I want to continue playing just because I want to kind of wrap up a couple of things and talk about what did we cover, what did we learn from this, or what should we learn. One is rapid expansion just flat out works. We did 4-city beer meat lines, Baltimore to Syracuse, Baltimore to Norfolk, and Syracuse to Buffalo. Then we made sure we put wheat directly into Syracuse and Norfolk for the beer, and cattle directly into Buffalo and Baltimore for the meat. That gave us a good base to run our system from. Then we did whatever they asked us to do, like connecting up and sending clothing to New York, putting Washington into the system, getting the cotton over to Pittsburgh, running the stuff from Pittsburgh up to Baltimore, connecting to Toledo. But then there's the other thing to really notice. First of all, the engine is our rapid expansion. That's what made all this possible. Then we did city growth out here in Toledo and Grand Rapids, and we set up a 2-city cluster with a pass-through warehouse. So what that means is 2 cities that that have industries that feed one another and help one another grow. And then we put a warehouse in the middle with raw materials that could feed them, and we ran lines that went Toledo, warehouse, Grand Rapids, warehouse, and they were freight only, and they just went back and forth, ran 8-hole trains running back and forth, and all they do is take whatever's made here that's needed here and take that, top off with whatever's left in here that they have room for, and take it here and do the same going the other way. And you can see our demand satisfaction, we're still at 56%, and if I wanted to pay a little bit more attention to it, I would start pumping a few more things in there to keep it growing. But here we grew Toledo to 128,000 very, very quickly. We grew Grand Rapids to almost 95,000 very quickly. Now we own these industries that are making us good money. See, look at the money we're making on these industries, and that'll just keep going, and they'll eventually pay for themselves. But where they really pay for themselves is just in the city growth. They help your 2 cities grow very, very nicely. And just by having our rapid expansion and having the beer meat lines coming in, we actually got Baltimore up to a very good size, huge, 172,000. And it got some dairy here. We should have run, I really goofed. I should have run milk into that dairy since it was sitting there. It was just sitting there asking to be fed. I should have fed it, but we had other stuff to do. So anyway, I hope you can see how, one, rapid expansion is applicable in almost every circumstance, and two, a 2-city cluster with a pass-through warehouse is a very strong way to build up a couple of cities and get rapid city growth. And you can see how, now these are normal AI, they're pretty weak, but you can see how easy it was for us to buy out Don Lorenzo, and it would be nothing for us to buy out Beatrix as well. She's down here in the south, pretty strong. She's got like 5 cities she's in, but we could buy her out and just very, very quickly. So hopefully you learned a little bit more about the game through this and saw how to, and if nothing else, you saw a good way to play Mission 2 and be very successful with it. Finish it off in under 2 years with perfect score. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it'll help you become a better player. I hope you'll like, comment, and subscribe, and join us for our next Railway Empire video. Thank you.